Hey everybody, GhostJunk here with another video, this time on World of Warcraft Legion. So as you can see, I'm on my World of Warcraft account. This is this is my paladin from World of Warcraft Legion. This is the first video I'm actually going to make on Legion. And it won't really be a video on an expansion, it'll just kind of be almost like a World of Warcraft vlog, I guess. I don't know, maybe with some helpful hints. We'll see what happens. Haven't really decided. The thing that this video is on is just World of Warcraft now and what it was 6 years ago for me when I was playing actively. So 6 years ago is officially when I quit World of Warcraft. You know, it was when Dragon Soul was current. It was Dragon Soul came out November 29th, 2011. So it was probably maybe December, possibly January or February when I quit World of Warcraft for good, for a long time. And I'm not going to go into the reasons why. I mean, there's tons of videos about people quitting because they had a crappy guild leader, or they weren't being treated fairly, or it was just too much of a stressful game, or whatever. But I'm not going to get into that. I just kind of want to talk about my experience now compared to what it was 6 years ago. So, you know, there's a few things that I did recognize, a few things that I didn't. The LFG/LFR, that was new when Dragon Soul was current. That had just kind of, you know, been a thing that they had just released, and it looked familiar because the icon hasn't changed. That icon was there, but it didn't quite look exactly like this. I think it might have been a little bit different. So I wasn't 100% sure how that worked back in Cataclysm. You know, it was new, and I don't think I did it at all, the LFR, because I was raiding with a group, more or less, on a somewhat consistent level. I'm not gonna get too into that, but I was, you know, I was doing some raiding. I was doing some stuff here and there, so it made sense at the time for me to stop playing. You know, I decided to focus all of my attention on my schoolwork and having a more social life, a more active real life, and it just wasn't worth some of the stress that I was being put up while I was playing. So why come back then? Why come back to the game now? Well, I'm done school, I have a little bit more time to do whatever I want. I'm actually been maintaining a very healthy lifestyle, and I play a lot of Overwatch, as some people may see on my channel. And Legion has actually sparked a lot right now with a lot of people, old players, new players, young players, old players. And it kind of brought me back a little bit. And if I'm comparing Legion to Burning Crusade, because that's when we first sort of encountered the Legion on a more, you know, expansion-wide scale, where the Legion was the main enemy in the Burning Crusade, as well as in Legion now. The differences are pretty interesting. So Burning Crusade was all about Outlands. We got introduced to flying. And flying wasn't that, it was cool, but it wasn't that great. You didn't have a ton of speed because the original flying mounts were only 60%, so it was basically like walking in the air for how quickly you were going. But I mean, it's changed a lot since then. Now you actually have to earn your flying in Legion by completing you know, various quests and achievements, and then by then you get it. You get flying after you earn it. You know, and dailies, they didn't remove dailies per se, but they have removed the kind of usefulness to them. Now what they have are all these exclamation points, and they're world quests. So basically you do them when they're up. They stay up for, you know, usually 2 to 3 days. And after you complete 4 of those quests with a particular faction, you get a reward chest, which is really cool. It means you actually have a more purposeful meaning to doing world quests now than just, you know, reputation or whatever the rep vendors are getting, which is usually 1, maybe 2 pieces if you're lucky, depending on your class, you know, of gear. And speaking of which, you now have legendary pieces, and artifact pieces, which are very new to the game. Legendaries aren't new per se, but now you can have up to 2 equipped, and they are class specific, a lot of them. And artifacts are legendary weapons from the game's lore, which is really cool. So the Paladin, everybody knows the Ashbringer. That's the weapon that Tyrion Forgeling used to, slay the Lich King. He, as well as other paladins, famous paladins, have used that weapon, and now you, as the player, are becoming the warrior next in line, the warrior of chosen, the warrior, just the person there to start wielding the Ashbringer and other artifact weapons, one for healing and one for tanking. To be the wielder of these rare and powerful weapons of aid, which is really cool. They've put a lot of thought into this story, and it's something that players should be really excited about, and I was excited about it. This is the greatest thing ever. Having the Ashbringer it's a magnificent weapon. Not just in lore or appearance, but just in general. Like, it's really cool. It's a massive 2-hand sword that strikes fear into the undead and demons of the world. So that's really, really cool. And Legion and Burning Crusade. Legion, now we are sort of on a global level dealing with the demons that affected Argus. And right now I am in the stage where Argus is a zone that we can go and visit. So when I rejoined, which was only a couple months ago, maybe 2 to 3 months ago, when I rejoined, Tomb of Sargeras had sort of just been released. Like, it wasn't even, I think it was only a week old, not even. So I had plenty of time to climb the ladder, jump right in. I don't even think Tomb of Sargeras was out. I think it just came, or was announced, and it was coming out in like a couple weeks. So I had reached 110, which is now the max level, and started grinding out some gear. I joined a really cool guild with my last remaining friend in World of Warcraft, who was someone who I like, and I say that by someone who I met online on WoW, and we kept in contact over the years here and there. So I, went to her server, joined her guild, and her and I, do gaming together. We still talk and everything like that, and we're in the same guild, so we raid together too on occasion. Lately it hasn't been too much because I've been a little busy on weekends, but overall we are playing together again, which is really nice. So what I was happy to see in Legion was the quality of life improvements. And I say that because it means that I can have a life and still play World of Warcraft a little bit more, as well as do the raiding. WoW is known for one very important thing, and that's having a ton of content in it. So if I really wanted to go back, and I'm sure I will at some point, because this is a game where I spent a lot of time and effort collecting things and doing things, so I will probably go back and do it. But if I wanted to go and not play for a day, that's okay, because these World Quest events, whatever you'd like to call them, the World Quest reputation missions, they last for 2, sometimes 3 days, I think, depending on the faction or whatever day it is. So I can take a day off, come back, and do all these in one day, which don't take very long to begin with. I can leave and come back, and everything's cool. Everything is completely fine, and it's like I wasn't even gone. I can come back without skipping a beat, which is really nice. So, Blizzard has made some quality of life improvements here that really help, and they've made it so you can even go mobile with this, with your phone. They have apps now that you can do just about anything really related to your class, as far as missions go. They have these new things called class halls, and class halls, you as kind of the most important person in the class hall, you're kind of like the High Lord now, or the Grandmaster, or the best person of your faction, of your class. You can go in and assign people to do missions for you, and you get rewards for that, and you can take that anywhere you go because it's on your phone or your iPad or something else. So that's really cool. They've made a lot of interesting improvements that I'm happy with. You don't have to be in the game to be in the game, which is great. You can take 2 minutes out of your day, do something, and then you're fine. It's such a great change that they've made. So the one other thing I'm going to talk about really quick too, well, it might just be one other thing, I'm not sure, is my time in those 6 years between World of Warcraft quitting and then back to World of Warcraft. So, I finished school, started working, built up a pretty decent life for myself in one aspect or another. But here's some things that kind of date my play. So I was grinding out in Valinir, Hammer of the Ancient Kings, for a long time during Cataclysm / Wrath, because there were some spaces in between where I was and wasn't grinding it. And I managed to finally get it. And then a little while ago, earlier in October, I was killed Jaden with my guild. I think that is October. Killed Jaden with my guild on heroic. So it's a really unique thing to see these two achievements, and there's just a 6-year gap in between. In those 6 years, I accomplished so much and did so much, and it's a bittersweet moment coming back to World of Warcraft. But overall, I think I'm happy to be back and happy to learn about this game, because there were so many changes I didn't understand, or I had to go back. This collections, they have so many. They have appearances, they have heirlooms, they have toy box, they have pet journal, they have mounts. They introduced so many things. Pet battling is a thing now, which I had no idea about. I didn't really know anything about it at all, but it's a thing, and it's here, and I did a little bit of it, but I don't know how much I like it. Either way, it's here. So it's just interesting to see all these changes, and now I have all of this content to explore, all this content to experience, all these quests, these new quests to go ahead and complete. And one thing World of Warcraft is not short on is content that you can do. People are always saying in this game that there's nothing to do. There's always something to do. If you're done playing a game, or if you're not happy playing it anymore, or if you feel that you have completed everything you can complete, stop playing it. Wait until the next stuff comes out, or play a different game, or just level a new character. Blizzard's encouraging alt quite a bit. They even made some achievements bind on account. These achievements that have the blue highlighted titles are bind on account, and then the ones that don't have it, they're just the standard brown one, are player or character based. So they've made a lot of changes in this game, which I think is pretty neat. What I do hope, though, and I've heard rumors about this, I don't know if it's true, it's basically a wait-and-see moment, because while people love making predictions about video games, the truth is we never know until we see what has happened, or the developers of the game come out and say, this is happening or this isn't happening. And I don't know if they've come out and said this, but one of the most really cool things about this game, one of the best things about this game, is these artifact weapons and these artifact system that they've developed, and just having the artifacts in general. I would love is for us to keep those for at least another expansion, or another half expansion, because they are weapons that we put a lot of time into and just love. And they're cool because they're, legendary weapons that people have used, famous people, famous characters have used. And it's just something that I can't them giving up so easily, or us throwing away so easily. My point here is, though, Legion has very high standards now for players. We were given so much good story, great content, great zones to explore, that the next expansion after Legion whatever it is, and there have been some predictions about it. Personally, I think it'll be another Lich King expansion, which I'm very much looking forward to if that's the case. The standards are going to be incredibly high. They're going to be insanely high. So I hope, absolutely hope, that when the next expansion comes out, no matter what it is, it keeps me playing. Because if it sucks, the way Warlords of Draenor apparently did, or if it doesn't look good the way some people thought Mists of Pandaria thought, you know, they felt that it didn't look that great, a lot of people, I don't know if I'm going to come back. I'm happy playing it now. I'm in a great guild. I have, you know, a few real life friends that I play with, and if they make it look bad, I don't think I'll be coming back. I did come back after 6 years to Legion, and it was beyond great. It's still beyond great, but now there's some very high standards to meet up to. And my overall experience with, you know, the achievement changes and the profession changes, because professions now have different ranks on different pieces of items that you can create. You know, a rank 3 subtle shadow ruby pendant is now different from a rank 2 raging fury stone. I guess based on the number of materials you use. I don't know. It's not always clear. That's what I'm guessing. But, you know, I hope that the next expansion is even better than this. I really hope it is, or equal to this one. Anyway, so this is just my little 2 cents, I guess, on the whole expansion of Legion, plus, you know, coming back after 6 years, seeing a brand new world with the same old faces. And this paladin that I've had for, God, I don't even know when my first achievement was. Probably sometime in Wrath, because that's when they came out. But I was playing back in Burning Crusade, end of Burning Crusade to middle of Burning Crusade is when I started. I've probably had this character, this paladin, for years, for absolutely years, since probably around 2007 or 8, maybe. So almost. It's 9 years then, I guess, coming up to 10 next year. Almost 10 years, if not longer. I might be wrong on that. It might be even earlier than that. But we'll just say 9 years to keep it simple. I've had this paladin for 9 years. You know, was actively playing for about 3.5 of those years, if not longer. And I just hope that I get to play him again in a happy environment. Because so far, all these changes that Blizzard has made, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, have been really, really awesome. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm going to be making some World of Warcraft videos on this channel now. So if you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see some of my Overwatch videos, you can click the box on the left. And if you want to see a World of Warcraft video on me farming for some very easy mounts, you can click the box on the right. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and I will see you guys later.